All right, got the Whoop set up here. No, I told Average FPV that I would do a little video on like Whoop setup and what I run and whatnot. So my main one is a 65 millimeter Newbie drone cockroach frame, motors, camera, all Newbie drone. The board is a Flywheel Goku 1S. Everything on this board is solder. That'd be the only downside if you're not comfortable soldering or don't have a soldering iron. But I was an aviation electrician for 9 years, so soldering's kind of light work for me. It doesn't really bother me too much to have to get into small places and solder. But silver motors, I believe these are 1102s. Oh no, these are 0703s, 16 420 kVs. Man, I've been calling these damn things 1103s. I'm tripping. Anyway, BI cam, great for indoor stuff. Sometimes they'll be a little bit out of focus. I have some that are better than others, but I like them indoors. They all look pretty great for me indoors. I can see more than enough to do anything you will be doing with a Tinywhoop. I'll be running an EP2 probably on all of these, maybe the flat antenna versions for these two, and this one, the EP2. Newbie drone, Nitro Nectars, the 300s. I run BT 2.0 connectors. I get about 3.5 to 4.5 minutes flight time, just depending on where and how I fly. I get about 3 minutes outside on a windy day, 2.5, 3 minutes if it's windy and I gotta fight the wind. But indoors, freestyling, hitting gates, just whipping around, I get about 3.5, 4.5 minutes, just depending on how heavy I am on the sticks. Got at least 100 and something flights on here, maybe 150 or so. Countless crashes. Only issue I've ever encountered is the frames. Bent or broken props or lost props. That's it. Never did anything else. The whoops are great for just getting stick time in. Brushless whoops anyway. You can fly back to back to back, no issues. It's pretty much like having a 3-inch, in the form of a whoop. That's how they feel to fly, really. My backup would be Newbie Drone B-Brain Pro. It's the DSM version that I got with the jumper T-Light for like $80 when they had them on their clearance or like specials. So it was a great deal. I wish I had bought two now, but either way, brushed. These are great for indoors. They're quieter than brushless and they're not as powerful. So you can really, really get on the sticks and get a feel for slower rates and whatnot, and just moving to the ends of your sticks and being confident in your movements. Great. These Tinywhoops help me get the most stick time in out of any flying outside of the sim, up until the point early this year when I started flying my 3-inch and 5-inch outdoors again, which is what I've been flying mostly here for the past, 4 or 5 months or so, since the weather hit the 60s and the 70s again outside. But again, you can't really do back-to-back packs with these. I mean, you could. I wouldn't push it past 2 back-to-back packs. I'd fly this for like a pack and let it rest, and I'd do a pack on there, and then I'd come back to here or something. This is how I would normally do if I wasn't just flying that back to back to back. I mean, I've flown the brushless literally for an hour straight on a slow day at work. Newbie drone 65. I put on a 75 millimeter frame. I did this like a month ago. The ESC1 is really weak for some reason. All of a sudden, it's get a low startup tone and won't spin up. It will on occasion. I can get it to work in beta flight sometime, but I have to get back to my chat with Newbie Drone to see if I can send it in for replacement or repair. But outside of that, my only complaint with the newbie drone stuff is they do their own firmware targets. So no Betaflight 4.3. Maybe it's out now. I haven't checked in a few weeks because I've been flying this one on Betaflight 4.3 since the release candidates came out day one. And I cannot fly anything before Betaflight 4.3 because it just feels terrible to me, and I don't have time to go back and try to figure out the tuning and the PIDs and everything to try and get this to fly right on 2S. But still flies okay on 1S. But that's not what I had set it up for here recently. I really wanted to do some park ripping with this where I don't get approached by people all the time. People at the park worried about what I'm doing or trying to call the cops or something like that. But newbie drone stuff is pretty good. Built-in VTX as well. Plugs for everything. You can solder the motors if you want. The main thing I liked about this board is plugs. And you can just buy some of their plugs into like a 4-pack of their plugs to just plug in your receiver. But canopies, TPU, I like these because I can adjust the angle on them. And they're more durable. They hold the cameras. I always have problems with the B-Brain canopies because the little clips that hold the cameras in place, after a couple crashes, they would always break. And then they have different size ones to hold like those really small camera lenses, and then this size style camera lens. So I've probably got 6 or 7 canopies I've never used and never will because I just hate those brackets. Dipole antennas. Believe this is like 29 grams dry, 28.5 or something like that. 37 with the battery. But yeah, the newbie drone Nitro Nectar Gold's best batteries I've found so far. The Tattoo 1S's were okay, but they all died on me except for this one. Maybe I got another one around somewhere. The RDQ batteries I haven't had any issues with. I just don't get as good a flight time, and the punch goes away about 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes in, whereas the newbie drones, I feel like it flies practically the same, from arm to 3.5, 4 minutes. But yeah, man. raceGOW, August 1st, register, compete. Maybe you'll win some prizes, some giveaways. Maybe you're a better pilot than you think you are. But shout out to anybody watching the channel. I mean, I don't really make money off any of this. I just like to fly, share footage, and if anybody's interested, anything on builds or whatever, if I have time, I'll make a video. And keep flying.